Well, Christmas is fast approaching, of course, and Aussies are expected to spend up big this year. The National Retail Association anticipates that consumers will splash $60 billion throughout the festive season.
On top of that, we're expected to spend over $8 billion online. The advice from the peak industry body is to shop early. We're joined now by Weekend Sunrise money man Scott Phillips. Scott, morning to you. Which state is expected to be the world record holders in this competition?
Good morning, guys. It's going to be a big time, isn't it? 8% rise on last year. No surprise, the most popular state, New South Wales, $19 billion going through the Christmas tills, $15 billion in Victoria, 12 in Queensland, and then less around the other states. But every single state, bar the NT, is going to grow at least 8% year on year. It's going to be a really, really strong retail season. We hope that's good news for businesses, good news for people working in those companies as well who are looking to get their jobs back.
Is that because of lockdown, that people just didn't spend as much money?
I like part of it, and just the relief factor of going back to the shops. Let's go and splurge a bit on the friends and family. Let's get out there and do some of that stuff. So yeah, it's absolutely part of that. It's a few more dollars in the back pocket too for most people. Again, not everybody. So combination of all that and hopefully a good retail season.
Right. Online spending dramatically up on last year?
Hugely. In fact, a couple of months ago, we had a decline in total retail spending, but online was still up 15% in that environment. We're going to keep seeing that rise. As you mentioned, $8 billion being spent online. Out of that 60, that's a big chunk, and it's growing really fast. In America, it's up to a third of retail sales now in some categories online. We're getting towards that here.
Okay, so that savings that we just talked about, it looks like Aussies have saved or amassed about $140 billion. I mean, that's extraordinary, isn't it?
Yeah.
And using some of it to pay off their credit cards. See, people have been listening to you.
I know, well, thank you. And look, that's the happiest part of this segment entirely this morning. We've done some of that. Now, yeah, look, for the wrong reasons, I suppose, or for reasons that we would have preferred not to have, the lockdowns and that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's the great news, is all that cash in the back pocket, as I said. Some of it's gone to paying down those credit cards. When you're paying up to 20% interest on credit cards, you've got to get rid of it as quickly as you possibly can, and that's been a really, really good move.
And Scott, this is big talk at the moment. Afterpay is now going into the banking space.
It is. Doing a deal with Westpac to basically provide money by Afterpay, they're calling it. An app that gives you a savings account, transaction account, debit card, all that kind of stuff. Plus that feature that lets you basically after the fact or what they call defer, what they call it. You do the deal, you spend the money, and you say, oh, actually, I'd like to pay that in 4 instalments, please. And Afterpay will, after the fact, retro is, they're going to basically let you say, hey, give me 3/4 of that back, and I'll pay some of that over the next 4 quarters or 4 fortnights, as they normally do with their usual Afterpay product. So a nice little feature for those who want it. That's the flip side, though, of the credit card thing, right? If you get on that train, you get yourself into those bad financial habits as well. Be a little bit careful, but for people with Afterpay accounts, an Afterpay Money app will make a whole lot of sense.
Just to be clear, this is a collaboration with a bank. It
is.
Afterpay is not becoming a bank.
Correct, and this is the fascinating thing. So they call it white labelling in the industry. You take someone else's service, you put your brand on the front of it, and you roll it out. So Qantas Health Insurance, for example, powered by NOB and that kind of stuff. So yeah, in this case, Afterpay's gone with Westpac and said, hey, give me the savings functionality, the debit card functionality. Let's put an Afterpay logo on the front. Westpac get the business, Afterpay get the app, and the customers are happy. In theory, it's good news for both. But the question, of course, is what happens next for banking? If Westpac does this for Afterpay, what does it mean for Westpac's own banking and the other banks as well?
Ooh, complicated.
Interesting. You're going to talk about that with all of your finance mates, aren't you?
we have fun parties.
Yeah. Those parties are so fun.
You've heard.
We've really got to come along.
So much.
No, thanks, Scott. Good to see you.